Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today we see inheritance comprised of multiple inheritance. So follow me in this little explanation. So first of all, we include the input output stream header, and then I will also include C-string and also new, because I want to use the no-throw object. Okay, I will use in this occasion again the namespace standard in order to spare time and effort, but it is not good practice, know it. Now let's go with the first class. Class individual. Let's say that each individual has an age. Okay? A constructor, of course. A parameter with a default value of 0. Sorry, not S, but A. Let's call it A. Okay, so this is the constructor. And now let's add a simple getAge member function. I will return a copy. Okay, nothing really complex here. Let's go on and say now that we have another class, and the name of this class is worker. Now, an individual might not be a worker, okay? But of course, each worker is an individual. So I say that I want this member here and these functions here, constructor included, I want them to be inherited by worker. Okay, I don't want to write again int age for worker. Okay, how do I do this? Colon, type of inheritance, public, and the name of the class from which it is inheriting. Okay, so at this moment in time, the class worker has already age and has already access to age and these functions here, though it has not direct access to age. Okay, it has inherited the age data member, but worker has no direct access to it. It must access to this private data member here with the member functions that the public interface that is made available by the class itself. Okay, now let's say that each worker has a salary. So now worker not only has age but also salary. We have to define a constructor for our worker. The worker will receive not an int, let's say double. So double s 0.0. Okay, the default value. And let's initialize salary with s. And this is our constructor for the worker class. Let's add a simple get salary member function. Return salary. Okay, and that's all for the class worker. So worker has inherited everything, has inherited age, has inherited even individual, that is the constructor, and has inherited this. Okay, this member function. Okay, now here the thing that you have to understand is this. Currently here I'm just initializing salary, but I need to also be able to initialize age. In order to do this, I have to call the constructor of individual here. I have to call it here. Where I do it here. I say, look, call the constructor of individual. Okay, and then initialize salary, this salary here with s. So what am I doing here? I'm calling the constructor of the class from which I am inheriting this private data member and these public member functions. Okay? Okay. So at this point in time, age for my worker, age is automatically set at 0 and salary also at 0. Let's go on. Now, each worker, a worker can be also what? A physician. A physician is a worker, but not every worker is a physician. So physician inherits publicly from worker. Okay, because a physician in this context is not just an individual, it is also a worker. So this is a chain. The physician, our class physician, is inheriting from worker, which is inheriting from individual. This. Okay, so physician now inherits age, these functions here, then it inherits also the double salary here, and these functions here. It inherits everything. Okay, so what does a physician? A physician has a number of patients. Okay, let's do the same here. Physician int p, and let's initialize the number of patients with p. Now what? In order to, let's say, initialize salary and age inside here, inside physician, I need to call the constructor Which constructor? The worker constructor. Okay, when I call the worker constructor, I'm automatically calling the individual constructor. That is this. Okay. Now let's add a simple get patients. Return patients. Okay. Now my physician maybe likes to swim. Maybe we are speaking about an excellent swimmer. So I do a class swimmer here, which is independent from the others. That is, it does not inherit anything from the others. But it has a char pointer called style. Then a constructor. Okay, so the constructor, what does this do? Style is initialized here to null_ptr. And here we take care now. Take care of the rest of the initialization. So this is just a pointer. We need to allocate memory for our string. How do we do it? Do you remember from the previous lessons? We allocate memory and use the new operator with the no-throw object in order not to throw exceptions if something happens, if something fails. So I want, let's say, 25 characters. Okay, so this allocates a space for 25 characters. Okay, and returns the correct type of pointer. That is a pointer to char, pointer to the first element here. Okay, to the first element of our block. Now I can say, look, if style, if not style, which means if style is equal to the null_ptr pointer, what do you do? Let's do two things. Let's write just error here. And return error and return. Okay, return control. That's it. Also, if we arrive here, now we can say that we initialize our style here with freestyle. Okay, freestyle. Okay, so style has been initialized. Now let's take care. I bet that you were forgetting this, huh? The destroyer, the destructor. You need to take care of memory. Okay, in this case we use this operator here and say this. Okay, now let's add just another get style auto get style member function. It returns pointer to car. Yes. So return what? Return style. Okay. Okay. Very well. Now what? Let's go back to our physician. We told, look, physician is an excellent swimmer. So I say, look, our physician publicly inherits from swimmer. So now I have style too inside physician. Okay, even though I don't have direct access to style, I can still get infos because this is a public interface. But this belongs to physician, okay? Even though we don't see it here. Now, you have to think that here, it's best if you think that style and every other thing that has been inherited is invisibly copied inside here. Okay? Inside here. Okay. So now let's write our main. Now let's just do a simple cout. Let's not lose our heads. So our physician, what does it do? Okay, maybe I'm missing. Yeah, I was almost missing. Here in the constructor, you don't only put the constructor worker. You have also to initialize style now. Okay, as a part of our physician. So here you call the constructor of swimmer. So now I have the swimmer constructor, which does all these things here. Initialization of style. So now, guess what? What are we going to see if I say physician A or physician P, let's say, okay, physician P, cout P, get what? Get age. So get age was originally defined in the class individual. Then P dot get salary. Get salary was originally defined in the class worker. And finally P dot get, not finally, almost. This is P dot get what? Patients. We have patients, right? So get patients. And finally now P dot get style. Style was defined in swimmer. Get style. Let's go back and compile and see if there are errors. No errors. Okay, 0, 0, default, these are the default values in the constructor, and then the freestyle. Okay, so now we can play with the constructors here. For example, here in worker, I call the constructor of the individual class. And I can call this constructor, given the fact that I've defined the constructor like this here, I can call the constructor here with an age of 36, for example. And when I go to physician is calling two constructors, the constructor of worker and the swimmer constructor. Now we will leave the swimmer constructor like it is, but we can modify worker. Worker had salary. Salary has been defined like so here. Okay, so S is 0.0. I will put what? Worker will be initialized with 40,000, 45, 700 something. Okay. So we have initialized now what? The age with a new value, and the salary that was defined in worker here with a new value. Here, now I want to initialize also patients with something different from 0. Let's say that this good physician gets what? As something like 45 patients. Okay, so definitely now when I go back and compile, I'm going to see something different. Okay, this was the age 36, this was the salary, and this was the number of patients, and this was his favorite style of swimming. Okay, so I think that it's enough for today. You've seen inheritance and multiple inheritance. Yes, I think it's already a lot to digest, huh? Even though it seems so simple, it's a lot to digest. Useless telling lies to you. Play with it. Why not? Play with these little structures that I've made up for you. Thank you for following me, and bye.